The mystery of the double slit and the first Hermetic law. The double slit experiment shocked modern science by revealing a paradox. Reality changes when someone observes it. This means that consciousness doesn't just perceive the world, it actively participates in shaping it. Microscopic particles, when unobserved, behave like waves of probability, spreading into infinite possibilities. But the moment an observer enters the scene, they collapse into defined particles, assuming a concrete form. This discovery shook the foundations of materialistic science, proving that reality is not something fixed and independent, but a field, constantly influenced by consciousness itself. Millennia earlier, Hermes Trismegistus had already revealed this truth in the first Hermetic principle: the all is mind. For him, the universe was not just matter or energy, but fundamentally mental. Existence itself is born in the mind of the all, the infinite consciousness. What science only discovered in the 20th century, Hermes had been teaching as the very foundation of reality. And here's the part no one tells you. Understanding this law is not just philosophy, it has a direct, practical impact on your life. If the universe is mental, then every thought, emotion, and intention acts as a quantum observer, collapsing possibilities into concrete reality. Think about it. It's not just about imagining a new car or repeating positive affirmations. It's about realizing that your mind is constantly shaping the invisible field that sustains everything. This isn't just a story about science or ancient wisdom. It's an invitation to see that everything you live, even the things you don't want, begins in your mind. A truth so powerful that it was hidden for centuries because it takes power away from the system and gives it back to you. The power to consciously create your reality. The illusion of shallow spirituality. Have you ever wondered why the law of attraction seems to work for some people but not for you? Why, even after affirmations, visualizations, and strong belief, your reality seems unchanged? The truth is simple but profound. Most of what is sold as spirituality today is a diluted, shallow version of the knowledge Hermes taught millennia ago. Hermes never spoke about thinking positive to attract material. He taught something infinitely deeper: the mind as an extension of universal consciousness. Creation is not about repeating phrases, it's about aligning with the vibrational essence of the all. The universe is mental because everything is made of consciousness. Not your limited personal consciousness, but the living consciousness that permeates every atom, every star, every being. Modern physics calls this the quantum vacuum, or the field of infinite possibilities. It is an invisible ocean of energy and information from which all forms arise and to which all return. Your mind is an extension of this field. You are not separate from it. You are like a drop belonging to the ocean. Same substance, same origin, only in smaller scale. This means your consciousness carries within it the creative power of the all, but your ability to manifest depends on how much clarity and expansion you sustain. The more your consciousness expands, the more aligned you are with this universal field, and the greater your ability to co-create with precision. It's not about lacking power. Everyone has creative power. The difference lies in how much each person has refined their mind and elevated their vibration. Imagine a child asking for a car as a gift. A loving parent doesn't say no out of lack of love, but because they know the child isn't ready to handle it. The same goes for universal consciousness. It doesn't respond to verbal requests, but to your true inner state. This is divine justice in action. The delay between thought and manifestation is not punishment, it's protection and evolution. Time is a mental training ground. Can you imagine living in a world where every thought manifested instantly? Where fear, anger, or a fleeting impulse became reality right away? Such a world would be pure chaos. That's why this dense dimension we live in was created as a mental training ground. Here, the time gap between desire and manifestation serves as both protection and learning. That interval gives you the chance to refine your mind, align your vibration, and grow spiritually. In more subtle planes of existence, thought creates reality almost instantly. But here on Earth, the delay is wisdom itself. It prevents our most impulsive shadows from solidifying into matter, while teaching us patience, focus, and clarity. And remember, every desire you project doesn't appear in isolation. It moves through a complex web of variables: other people's, free will, vibrational coherence, soul contracts, collective plans. The dream job you want so badly may look perfect for you. But is it the best for your evolution? Is it aligned with your coworkers, with the company's path, with the balance of the universe? The quantum field, what science calls a consistent field of possibilities and Hermeticism calls law, does not answer to the ego's whims. It responds to balance. It works through the coherence of the whole, not the impatience of the part. And here's the paradox. The more your consciousness expands, the less urgency you feel. Anxiety fades because you understand nothing is against you. What you seek is already moving toward you in the exact measure of your readiness. Desperation is repulsive. Trust is magnetic. When you remember that you are the image and likeness of the Creator, fear dissolves and creation begins to flow naturally. The observer and the collapse of reality. Have you ever noticed how things sometimes only work out when nobody is watching? Or how everything changes the moment someone starts paying attention? This everyday experience reflects a truth science only recently recognized. The very act of observation changes reality. This is the core of the Double Slit Experiment. In it, subatomic particles are fired through two slits. When unobserved, they behave like waves, forming probability patterns. But when there is an observer, they collapse into defined points, forming a concrete reality. It was as if matter itself knew it was being watched and changed its behavior. This baffled scientists. Richard Feynman, one of the greatest physicists of all time, said this experiment contained the only mystery of quantum mechanics. The mystery is simple to state, but hard to accept. Consciousness interferes with reality. The world is not a fixed, solid structure. It is a field of possibilities constantly collapsing. And who decides what collapses? The observer. And here's the key. That observer isn't just your physical eye. It's your mind, your attention, your expectations, your deepest beliefs. The quantum field remains potential until something directs it. If you observe life through fear, doubt, or negative anticipation, that's the reality that collapses before you. The field does not judge, choose, or discriminate. It simply responds to your most active vibration. If your lens is distorted, your experience will be distorted. This isn't magical thinking. It's physics applied to consciousness. Science is only beginning to understand the mind's effect on matter, but Hermeticism has taught for millennia. The all is mind, and everything flows from it. Who is observing for you? If reality collapses according to how you observe it, then here's the inevitable question. Who is doing the observing for you? Often, it's not your true essence, but the accumulation of traumas, fears, inherited beliefs, and social conditioning. How? Many times have you thought, that's just who I am, or this is just how my life is. That sense of a fixed reality is an illusion. What looks solid and unchangeable is just a crystallized mental pattern. Neuroscience confirms this. The brain is a machine of repetition. It seeks confirmation of what it already believes. This is called confirmation bias. If you believe you're not good enough, you'll interpret experiences that reinforce it. If you believe the world is dangerous, you'll see every piece of news as a threat. The mind filters and reconstructs reality to fit your unconscious expectations. The more these patterns repeat, the more the mind believes it is seeing reality as it is, when in fact it's only projecting what it already knows. This builds solid neural circuits, automatic pathways that always lead to the same outcome. Psychology calls them cognitive maps. It's like having an inner GPS that insists on sending you to the same places, even when you want to change routes. This loop doesn't persist because you want it, but because your mind is programmed to conserve energy by sticking to the familiar. This is where the Hermetic law of rhythm comes in. Everything moves in cycles. Emotions, behaviors, relationships, results. Everything repeats until you become conscious of the process. The universe, being mental, responds exactly to the frequency you sustain. The cycle only breaks when you change the observer, not just your intention. Vibrational coherence. The field responds to truth. Quantum physics has shown that reality collapses according to vibrational coherence. The field doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to the state you actually sustain. If you say, "I want prosperity," but vibrate guilt, fear, or desperation, what manifests will be confusion, chaos, or blockage. It's not punishment. It's energetic coherence. The universe doesn't react to the masks of the conscious mind, but to the vibration you consistently hold. That vibration is shaped by repetitive thoughts, intense emotions, and deep unconscious stories. That's why many people believe wanting is power, but soon discover that desire alone changes nothing. Hermes knew this. Creation happens from the inside out, not from the mouth out. As long as you believe the external world is fixed and independent, you'll keep reinforcing internal patterns that block transformation. You're not trapped by reality itself. You're trapped by how you've learned to perceive reality. And this prison has no locks. It's built from inherited beliefs, emotional imprints, and automatic thoughts. The real revelation is this: wanting means nothing if your field is fragmented. What truly transforms is coherence between mind, emotion, and action. That coherence creates a stable frequency the universal field recognizes and replicates. Physics calls this the intentional collapse of the observer. Hermes called it the art of mental creation. This is why Hermeticism insists on daily practice and inner refinement. It's not about saying it once or repeating hollow words. You must vibrate what you desire, clearly, consistently, integrally. Reality doesn't respond to the theater of your conscious mind. It responds to your true vibration. From passive observer to conscious creator, many people live as if destined only to watch life unfold, passive spectators of fate. How many times have you heard, "If God wills," or "Let's see what happens"? This reveals one of the greatest spiritual errors, believing we are here only to observe, when in fact, we were called to co-create. Hermes taught something radically different. You are co-author of reality. The mental universe doesn't respond to waiting. It responds to conscious creation. Observation is only part of the process. Creation requires vibrational intention, clarity, and presence. The quantum field doesn't react to those who simply see. It responds to those who project with consciousness. Imagine the universe as a blank canvas. The passive observer stares at it, waiting for an image to appear on its own. The conscious creator, however, takes the brush and decides what will be painted. That's the difference between living as a victim of chance and living as a co-creator of destiny. Hermes called this alignment of mind, will, and action, initiation. Modern physics describes it as the collapse of intention into the quantum field. It's the moment when you stop merely reacting to what appears and begin deliberately sustaining what you wish to experience. But how do you create consciously in a chaotic world? The answer is simple. Whatever you focus on expands. You create by choosing what to feel, deciding where to place your attention, and cultivating thoughts aligned with what you wish to live. The mind is a beacon. Where you shine its light, the universe grows. Focus on fear, anxiety, comparison. That multiplies. Focus on gratitude, trust, clarity. That flourishes. Creation is more than observing. It is directing energy with clarity and firmness even in the midst of chaos. The art of changing the inner pattern. Hermes said, "To change the plane, change the pattern." Transformation doesn't come from empty words. It comes from altering the internal state you sustain. The universe doesn't respond to what you announce. It responds to what you truly vibrate. Two disciples can witness the same event. One sees only obstacles and feels fear. The other sees opportunity and feels excitement. The external world is the same, but the inner experience is completely different. What changed? The lens of the observer. That lens bends the universe, not superficial words. Neuroscience proves this. Emotional intentions held with consistent focus change not only brain circuits, but also the way the world itself is perceived. It's like training the mind to see differently. And once you do, the world reacts differently too. Not by magic, but because perception drives action, and action shapes experience. Physics calls this the observer effect. Defined expectation alters the result observed. Hermeticism calls it the art of mental creation. Observation is passive, creation is active. Observation says, let's see what happens. Creation declares, I am becoming this now. Hermes never said the world would be shaped by those who simply wait. He taught that the universe is mental, because everything begins in the mind of the all, but it only manifests through you when there is inner coherence. Without it, you remain a spectator of life instead of a conscious co-creator. True creation happens when the observer stops confirming old patterns and begins shaping the field with presence. Life then stops being a lottery and becomes a laboratory. You stop depending on chance and start practicing spiritual science, directing vibration with intention every day. Practices to reprogram the observer. Knowing all this intellectually isn't enough. How many times have you understood the concept, but your life didn't change? That's because knowing is not the same as being. Real transformation requires changing the observer, and that means reprogramming the mind, dissolving old influences, and creating a new vibrational field. Neuroscience shows that repetitive thoughts carve neural circuits. These circuits create an automatic version of you that thinks, feels, and reacts in the same way over and over. To change, you need to install new pathways, and that requires conscious repetition with emotional presence. Hermes said, where your attention is, there you are. The first step is taking command of your attention. Observe what you observe. It sounds simple, but it's revolutionary. Once you notice the lens you're using, you realize you can change it. Practices like Ho'oponopono are examples of vibrational alchemy. Many think repeating, I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you, is just a mystical mantra. But in truth, these words work like keys, clearing unconscious records and dissolving patterns that distort your field of observation. It's not magic, it's reprogramming. Its simplicity is its power. Other tools, meditation, conscious breathing, active visualization, also rewire the observer. Meditation isn't about stopping the mind, it's about seeing it clearly. Breathing deliberately isn't just relaxation, it's entering new brain states. Visualization isn't fantasy, it's training your mind to align with what you want to experience. Science confirms these practices change brain frequencies, break repetitive patterns, and open space for new realities. But nothing happens with just one try. The mind is like iron. It must be forged in the fire of daily practice. Each time you choose gratitude over complaint, trust over fear, presence over distraction, you change the observer. And by changing the observer, you change reality itself. The key is in your hands, in the end. It's not about controlling the outer world. It's about mastering your own mental field. The universe out there is just a reflection of what you sustain inside. When the observer rises, reality inevitably transforms. This is the silent initiation Hermes left for those who are ready. The world is not a prison. It is a mirror. If you've made it this far, you already know, reality is not fixed. What you call life is actually a mental field collapsed by your consciousness. It's not about luck, or worthiness, or even positive thinking. It's about consistent vibration, expanded awareness, and deep presence in the now. The question is, no longer, why doesn't my life change? The real question is, who is observing for me? As long as traumas, fears, and inherited beliefs do the observing, your reality will repeat old patterns. But the moment you take your place as the conscious observer, everything begins to reconfigure. The secret is simple but powerful. When the observer changes, reality changes too. The key has always been in your hands, and now you see it clearly. The all is mind, and you are a living extension of it. With every aligned thought, every elevated emotion, every conscious choice, you write a new chapter of your existence. And remember, you've already started changing just by observing from a new place. If this knowledge touched you, awakened you, or challenged you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it. It's not just support, it's a signal to the algorithm, and even more, to the field of infinite possibilities that you want more content to expand your consciousness. You're not just watching a video. You're co-creating right now the digital reality you wish to feed. And if you want to go even deeper, become a member of this journey. Because once you step into your role as the conscious observer, you discover that life is not passive waiting. It is continuous creation.